Hello and welcome everyone. How are you today? Well, today I'm going to work with Lady Isis, the Egyptian goddess. I haven't worked with Lady Isis in a while, and for YouTube and during the earlier years I would work with her very, very much. So I've decided to bring her through and see what this day code is about, because it's March 30th 2019 today. So March is a number 3, right? 30 is 3 plus 0 is another number 3, so we have 3 3, and 2019, right? 2 0 1 19 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3, so we have a 3 3 3 code. And Mercury has gone direct as well. So, and the moon's in Aquarius, okay? So now we've got some energies to harness today. And my lovely, lovely Egyptian goddess is here, who I love, okay? And so I want to make sure that we're all feeling positive. And I brought out my Book of Thoth here, the Egyptian Tarot. He studied everything about the Egyptians, and that's why, and actually I've been highlighting how the tarot works metaphysically as well, and I'll bring this up forward. This is from the Dream Tarot by Cyril Marchetti, but there's his wheel, and Aleister Crowley wrote this book, I want to say in the 1920s, but let's see, hold on, let's confirm the Book of Thoth. The Master Therion, Master Therion, okay, but you see, everything was with mathematics. Especially the Egyptians were all about geometry, mathematics, okay? Like the Egyptian, when they, well, this printing was 1944. Originally published in an edition limited to 200 copies in 1944. Then reprinted in 1969, 1974, and 1993. So this book that I'm holding in my hand is 1993. Okay, but I just wanted to show you that he was definitely into the alchemy, into the metaphysics, and if you see what he designed in 1944, was it? Again, is the same that Cyril Marchetti kind of followed, and you can see that we have the different major arcana codes right here, okay, and the different numbers, and it's all this, the tarot of the Egyptians, the key scale, like this is all the metaphysics. When I speak of alchemy and metaphysics, this is what we try to harness, okay? But that's not the reason I'm bringing that up, but I just want you to know how intelligent, obviously, the Egyptians were, before, well, they're the first, people, and I believe totally they came from the stars as extraterrestrials, but those are other videos. But I have always been into Egyptology since my 20s. I studied, for myself, because I just found them fascinating. And Lady Isis is a beautiful goddess of love and peace, and she's also considered a moon goddess. You can see how this is the Isis Oracle. We're going to close with one deck, and here I had to bring out the High Priestess because I picked one card and it was the High Priestess, so I felt, apropos right here. Mysteries revealed in the eyes of Isis. And I've done this card has come through in my other Isis videos, which I titled them Lady Isis Speaks. So the title of this video will also be Lady Isis Speaks. So let's see what she has to say. So we're going to put the High Priestess back in the deck. So I thought that was kind of like, to me, oh wow, this is a good sign, good sign. So let us see what they're going to say. So we'll select one card at the end from the Lady Isis Speaks, but this is by Alana Fairchild, okay? And this is the image, I think, Lady Isis, the Queen of Heaven, and you can see a full moon in the background. This image is for her, the card, the Queen of Heaven, okay? Maybe that card might come through. So, but I wanted to do this reading because I've been wanting to work with Isis for a while now. Can't even remember, I don't think I've done one for 2019 working with the Egyptian pantheon, and I also have my Tarot Nefertari deck out, which is this deck right here. And Nefertari was one of the wives of Ramses II, the great Ramses II, and Nefertari was his favorite wife, but he had many consorts. I think he had like over 100 children. I think 50 of them were boys. You know, this all, they can figure this all out by the writings, but he built for Nefertari, Tarot Nefertari here. He built there's a colossal sculpture, I forget where in Egypt, but he's sitting in a throne and she's sitting next to him, and it stands, I think, 4 stories tall. You know, they were definitely, how they can build things like that, you know, was just amazing. Totally, I've always been fascinated. And then I have my Tarot of Transition that we're going to start with first, and this is a cool deck too, and the scarab. I should have brought my scarab out. I have a scarab that flew down to on my condo, and I found it was very fascinating that day. Boy, I should have brought that out, but I don't want to get up from the table. But you can see the Isis, the ibis bird, which we have many of those in Florida. If you see right here in the corner, that was definitely another bird. They were all into the animals. I was just sharing in a video the other day how literally they mummified cats that they literally have found to date. I think the archaeologists have found like 8 million cats mummified so far in all the adventures. So I just find it all fascinating. You know, just like I find the Mayan fascinating. It's all good. Okay, so let me just, I'm going to just move the cards here and we'll select, but we have Lady Isis on the table. And, you know, back then, Lady Isis and Osiris were brother and sister, but also lovers, and that's how they did it. You know, it's not like now that, you know, that's considered incest and you can't grow, but it wasn't that belief system back then. And then we'll do one last pick, one card, maybe 2. I might want to do a pairing if we have the time. Okay, so we're already 7 minutes into it, but just realize we're trying to tap the table. Oh, right there in my hand already. Oh boy, right in my hand. Okay, Ushakti of Dead. Boy, I have a Ushakti too. I should have brought it out. I'll have to show you. You know, maybe we'll do another video with my Ushakti. The Ushaktis were these little figures. You can see like it's a little looking doll. Mine stands about this tall, and we were in North Carolina or South Carolina, and we went to this kind of like, it was like a museum, but you could buy things there of old relics, and it's supposed to help you towards your afterlife. That's why many were found in these tombs, because they're protectors for when you pass on. They stay with you to help you pass on back to the stars. So now we have the Page of Fire here. Okay, so you can see it's a feminine page. Is usually feminine in the tarot, but of staves is the wands, the fire. Beautiful. Okay, and she just kind of came out. So the Page of Fire is here already. That's wonderful. Stands by the candle. Okay, so we have protection. Okay, right here, right now. And that's wonderful, because that's what it's about. Okay, wow, hold on. Did you see that? Okay, we're going to have a bonus card there, because that just kind of went meep. Wow. All right. Oopsie. You don't want to knock the crystals, Lemurian crystals around. That's okay. I can see this is going to like dip on me here. Whoa! And it did. Okay, hold on. Let me close my eyes here for a moment. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. I haven't done a reading with them in so long. Okay. Okay. Another card. Okay, the Two of Swords just popped out as well. So the Two of Swords is here, so that's that pairing. And the Sword speaks about that mental way of how we think. Okay, how are we thinking? Are we working together? Are we in cooperation together? And you see the key, the Ankh right there, the key of life. Okay, see the balance too, to speak of that balance. Okay, but there's a pairing here. Are you communicating all right? Are you intellectually thinking? Oh, my nails look horrible. Look at this. I've been working in the yard, but I've been working, now that I'm feeling so much better, I got to get my yard going because, you know, I have all these plants out here and, oh, let's see, hold on. Okay, hold on, hold on, son, hold on, hold on. Okay, these two right there. All right. Okay, so I want to, but I figured it was important with the codes of today that we would, here, I'm going to, let's see, we'll do this one. Okay, let's stand on top of the crystal too. Okay, all right, so now, we'll use Shakti King first. So we have already protection coming in with the Page of Wands, okay, already in the palace. It's showing that energy of protection and the intellect of how are you communicating intellectually. That's a pairing and keeping the balance, okay? Keeping the balance. Okay, so now we have the 7 of Coins and the 8 of Swords. So now they're, the swords obviously are representing the Ankh, the key to life, how the Egyptians believed to that. That's why they believed in the afterlife, okay? How you live on this earth plane and how you do it, righteous or not righteous, is what's going to happen to you in the afterlife. And then the 7s, which speaks of challenges, spiritual challenges or spiritual victory. And this is about the 7 of Coins, so believe in how you're making that coin too, okay? This is, coins are the earth element, the swords is the air element, how we're thinking. But 8s to me speak of power and success. So, and we already received this 2 to balance how we're thinking, okay? But if you're involving yourself in like thinking about how you're going to make this coin here too, you know, there could be a good sign that money fears should not be about anymore, because we already know we're going to be in power and success. So, because like I said, 7 speak of challenges or victories. So don't worry about money. Just keep moving forward, okay? Just keep moving forward. All right. Well, thank you, Tarot of Transition. All right, now we're going to go to the Nefertari deck. And this is Nefertari, okay? Tarot Nefertari, not Nefertiti. Nefertiti was the mother of King Tut, okay? And she was the wife of Akhenaten, okay? The so Akhenaten, the Emperor Akhenaten, he was the one that changed the whole way that the Egyptians thought. He just wanted to believe in one God, and it was the sun God, you know, which I call Father God, our creator. And that's what he wanted to do, but they, and Nefertiti, she's the one, the beautiful bust of an Egyptian woman they found in the 1920s, I think, in the sands. And, you know, she's the beautiful, it's missing one eye from the bust, but that, her long neck, that's who Nefertiti is. But we're dealing with, right here in my hand, okay, with the Nefertari, who was King Pharaoh, oh no, oh, right there in my hand. Look, they're just coming out. I guess they're like, you haven't worked with us for a while. Yes, but Nefertari was King Ramses. And he had many wives. You know, they had, that was the way the Egyptians did it. Like I mentioned, he had over 100 children. And so, and he was very fascinating, Ramses the second, the great Ramses, because he lived to, I think, I want to say like 93 or 96 years. And back then, the Egyptians really, they didn't live, I mean, if you got into your 40s, you were old. Okay, so they obviously, he had, and virile enough to be breeding all these kids. So it was kind of fascinating, really. Okay, so how did this card get here? We got a bonus card, okay. So yes, so it's all fascinating, but here we're trying to tap this code today, 330, so 333, you know, 333 speaks of those ascended masters, and 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 is plus 9, and you know how I love to read my 9 card spread, even though we have some more. I never limit what wants to come through. But 9 is that number where you can multiply it by 1, it's a 9, 2, it's 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. You can multiply by 1,285,000, and you add up all the numbers, and it comes to 9. When you break it all down, it comes back to 9. So it's a very metaphysical number, and so that's why I like to read with 3 decks, and why I stuck with this 9 number, because also, you know, I love it when, you know, the same card will come through. And also I've been starting to do live videos, my friends, and I don't know when I'll do them, but, you know, join me on those, because that's been kind of fun. And I'm working with a Robin Wood deck that I have 2 decks of. It's like my personal go-to deck, but like 2 world cards, Major Arcana cards came through, so it's been fun. And you can ask me to select a card for you, and I will. Right in my hand. Okay. Real nice. Real nice. Okay, so let's see what we have going on here. Wait a minute, let me just highlight, because this is another powerful deck. This Egyptian Tarot's deck is not to be fooled with, in the respect this is loaded with, you know, energy. And Aleister Crowley was an occultist, no doubt about it. He I kind of mentioned before, because I live really like 15 minutes from the flagship of Scientology, and he and Ron L. Hubbard loved to deal with Aleister Crowley and work with him, because he wanted to learn the dark forces as well, Ron L. Hubbard. So, but I don't know about that Scientology. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, because it's scary crazy. Those Scientology, they're just, you should see. I'm not going to talk, I don't want to change too much about it, but yeah, here we have the Death card. Lucky 13 has come through, and here's Anubis, and God Anubis, this jackal god. You can see it's like a dog jackal. He was the one that also would come and see if you've lived a decent life. You know, he's kind of like the Dark Lord that would help pass you. But if you didn't, other things could happen. But here we have Major Arcana, La Morte, the Death card, the Anubis, I think it's pronounced. But we have the Death card. And this is about that secrecy, because, you know, the Egyptians were very, very much into, you know, they lived on the plane, but everything they did, like these pyramids, building them for when the pharaohs would pass, to entomb them in these, you know, their pyramid temples. So death to them was a huge transition, like this deck that we were just opened with, Tarot Transition. Okay, so death wasn't something that they feared, because they knew they were going towards the afterlife, and they would come back again. They believed in that death rebirth. But you had to be, you had to have good, you know, how we call today good karma. But literally, when you passed, they would remove your organs, which they discard them, but they'd weigh your heart to a feather. Okay, and if your heart from your body, the body you were in at this time, weighed more than the feather, then you were going to hell. Okay, you didn't live a righteous life. Okay, so, but here is Major Arcana Death. And we need to learn about this regenerative type of way. And you can see they're blessing the god Anubis right here, the jackal god. So it's like saying, you know, he was, this jackal god was highly powerful at the time too for them. Okay, let's keep on moving and see what's going on here. Where am I at? What time is it? 18. Okay, we're doing good. Okay, oh, here we have the Three of Swords. Okay, so now we've received 1, 2, 3 swords already. And the threes, could speak of creativity, but usually the Three of Swords speaks of sorrow. Okay, it's like, and you can see the person is kneeling down, has female has her hand on her head, and you can tell she's sort of like in that sorrow position, or thinking a lot, like a little maybe stressed out, you know. But we have the Eye of Knowledge here as well, 2 of them, which you hardly, the Eye of, I think it's known as the Eye of Horus here. But we have 3 swords aiming at her head, and you can see she's like she's saying, you know, no, don't touchy daddy. Let's come back to this one. Okay, But we also have the death here. Okay, so let's just see what's going to say here. But she's obviously... But we have the power and success. We have those challenges. There's a pairing here. So let us just see. And we have, what was the first card opened with? The Page of Fire. Okay, so let's set the Page of Fire here. So, you know, there's passionate energy on the table. So let's see what the sorrow is for this energy here. But, you know, we're all come to this planet. We know we're going to pass on. And that's what Anubis is here saying. Yep, I'm in charge of that too. And now we have the Eight of Cups. Okay. Okay, we'll figure it out here in a moment. Why we have this sorrow card coming through. I mean, some of you could be in sorrow, but let's just move forward. Okay, so now we have the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Chalices, the Eight of copas in Spanish, and Kelch. I don't know what's that. Okay, yeah, that's the Eye of Horus right there. So, interesting. And you can see how we speak of eights as that power and success, but you can see how this male is bending down, you know, thanking the, you know, his emotions are showing that he's, you know, feeling blessed. He's kissing on Mother Earth. He's kissing towards, you know, obviously in a prayer situation, like I'm thanking you all for my blessings, for my my good tidings, this powerful source. So, and the Egyptians were very much into their prayers, and especially they would do them at specific times. They were very regimented on speaking to the gods and goddesses. They really didn't do too much without speaking to the gods and goddesses. Before I pick up these, I want to see this bonus card here. Oh, beautiful. Look at this. We were just talking about Akhenaten and Nefertiti. Nefertiti and Akhenaten are the parents of the famous King Tut, where they found all his funeral parlor, his tomb in the 1920s by, oh God, how did I forget this man's name? Yeah, he was a British guy who found it. But now, I was mentioning that Akhenaten wanted to get rid of all the gods and goddesses, of all, you know, how the energies of the Egyptians began, and he wanted to turn to one god, the sun god, Aten. And so here's Aten, and so now here we have the sun, the powerful sun. Nothing rules, you know, more powerful than us, sun. This is definitely Leo's sign. And you can see the key of life is also, the Ankh is between both Nefertiti. See Nefertiti, see the bust. Remember, if you've noticed, I'm sure this is like everybody around the world has seen that bust. And she's beautiful. The bust of this Nefertiti, her face is so gorgeous. And here is, and yeah, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11. Okay, 11, another master code number. Okay, 1 and 1 is 2, the pairing. But you can see how they both, okay, Akhenaten, the husband, and Akhenaten was shaped very weird. Even I watched these shows where they brought out his body, his skeleton, and his child also. King Tut died at 18. He had some kind of paralysis to his legs, but they kind of think they had that, you know, the Egyptians came from the stars, but like definitely like an alien head he had as well. Okay, but we have the sun here. So we have 2 major arcana cards, and here we have, I think this moon is in the sign of Aquarius today, and now we're in Sun Aries as well. The Emperor card, Aries Emperor. So we've got some power coming in. And then again, if anybody, if you don't follow the Egyptians, you should know about Nefertiti because of the bust they found in the sand. I think it was just some commoners, you know, just they found it in the sand. It was buried in the sand in Nowhereville. Queen of Cups, beautiful. love when the Queen of Cups comes through. I truly do. She's one of my faves. Okay. And see, I was just opening up about the ibis. You see the ibis in the image here? We have many of this bird in where I live, right where I live. They sometimes come on my grass too. They're so cute. But they usually stay on the beach. But they're very fascinating birds. And sometimes they can be alone, but sometimes they're always in their flock. But here we have a lotus, flowers, and you can see the energy. Usually this deck shows the images of female queens. Oh, there she is. I was like, where's the queen? There she is. Now you can see. Okay. If you see right here, here's her hand touching the ibis. Okay. I might have to pull out the symbolization for ibis energy because they've been around obviously for thousands of times. And we have many here, many. And they're very calm, cool, collected, and they don't fear the humans too much. You know, they're kind of very chilled out birds. They really are. They won't let you touch them, but they don't run from you. They don't go away. But if you can see up here, here's two eyes. If you can see, two eyes. So this is the head of the queen. There's her arm touching the ibis, and her other arm seems to be holding this object right here. See, this other arm is coming in, holding this object, which looks like a shell, a big shell maybe, because this is the Queen of Cups. But these are her knees, her knee. So she's sitting down, and she's by the water, and you can see her arm right here, reaching up. Okay, so it's like the reflection of her sitting here on earth, and the reflection of the water. Okay, it's like a cup she's holding, because you can see the reflection here of the cup. You can see her eyes right there. I've never studied this card so hard, but we have to see her. But she's there, but she's in like a reflection. And here we have the sun star that just came through, and now I can see that the sun is shining. The sun is shining bright. Okay, and that's why we can see her reflection. All right, and you can see her eyes right there. Okay, her eyes are right there. And then the cup she's holding, and her arm petting the ibis. Okay, so she's kind of doing, you know, the Queen of Cups is definitely about our emotions and our psyche in the respect of, you know, our psychic abilities as well. So she's definitely, and she's holding a lotus flower. She's petting the ibis, you see, and the lotus flower has much wisdom in its own self because it's in the mud, and then it comes from the dirt, the darkness. You know, the symbolization of the lotus is it grows in the mud first, in the dark, and then it comes out of this beautiful blossoming lotus flower that is just so gorgeous. Wow, that's pretty nice. The Queen of Cups is here. I never noticed. I've had this deck forever too. I don't want to move everything right now, but I've had this deck. Well, this deck right here, honestly, I gotta see if I wrote in it, because now I write on my decks when I received it. This was my first tarot deck ever. My first tarot deck ever. You know, the runes were my first divination system ever, but this was my first tarot deck ever. I just am curious if I wrote it down. No, I didn't write it down. Okay, but just know I've had this. Oh, look at this. First card pull. Oh, here we go. 1994. Okay, 1994. You can do the mathematics now. We're talking about over 25 years ago. The Hierophant. Okay. The Hierophant is here. That's super cool. Okay, let's keep moving. I don't want to take away from that. So 1994. Was it 714? I'm sorry, my friends. I'm just like, I haven't worked with them. 719. Okay, 719, 1994. And the Hierophant, for those of you Taurus friends out there, that's your Major Arcana card. But the sun, and without the sun, we would not be here on earth. But that Aten, and yeah, he kind of got denied. He was taken out, and the Egyptians went back to how they used to have it. Yeah, and that their son died so young of his medical conditions, because now they found his mummy, obviously, in this beautiful casket that he had, you know, with the big gold face mask. They could tell now they've done CT scans and his foot was all distorted and, you know, it was just wild. Okay, now we have the Ten of Swords. Boy, mentally how we're thinking is just, look at this. 2 sorrow cards are here. Okay, 2, 3 of Swords. Okay, there's something going on here. Let me pick up all these sword cards here. Okay, let's just think about this now. Let's do this right. I should have faced that little thing, but I don't want to hit it again. My little smoker, usually I face it around the other side, but I guess. Okay, no, this is the coin card. Okay, so we have, but mind you, the Queen of Cups, who is here to heal us emotionally, has arrived, and the Ushapti and the wild factor of fire is here, the young blood page of fire. But we have the 2 of Swords, the 8 of Swords, now 2, 3 of Swords, which we have to, that's why I like to work with 3 different decks, and now this 10 of Swords. But now, again, you know, Aleister Crowley, always with the, you know, it's always death and dying, but he calls the 10 of Swords ruin. Okay, ruin. But I don't like to think the 10s like that, because I think of them as the transcendence card. You know, 1 through 10 in the Minor Arcana, and 10 to me is transcendence. You've been through your storyline. So I don't want to think that we're ruined here, and especially not with the sun to help heal us, okay? But let's just see. So you see, we have the 3 of Swords, and like I mentioned, this is the Sorrow card, and Aleister Crowley actually named it Sorrow. Okay, so, but let's put this in perspective now, because we have 2 of them. So there is energy like this going on, but how are you thinking? You know, some of us sometimes overthink, and we shouldn't have to overthink too much, because that takes us nowhere as well, okay? So put everything in perspective, you know. And yes, no doubt about it, life brings us our troubles, and especially if, you know, we're going through money issues. I mean, you know, in this world, if you can't pay your bills, it's horrible. So you have to really signify where you're going, but we can't go into any dark place, depression, because of our sorrows. We have to lift ourselves up and continue on, okay? To continue on. So that's why I don't want to use the word, like Aleister Crowley did, ruin, because this is how we go. And 3's, you know, 3 is the Empress, Venus, about creativity and harvest and things like that. So put your numbers in perspective, okay? We have the Sun star, and you might have to go through that death, that transformative death from this kind of energy. Transform yourself towards the light, okay? So if you're in a dark place right now, think of those 3's as recreate yourself. You know, the Egyptians totally believed in that death, rebirth, right? And here we have the death card in my hand, okay? Death to rebirth. Look at that, just right in my hand. Death to rebirth, okay? Death to rebirth from the 13, which I usually like to call Lucky 13, and the 20, excuse me, the 19 card, Major Arcana card, the Sun with Aten. That's what the Sun, Akhenaten, the Pharaoh at that time, called his sun disk. It is known as the sun disk, Aten. Okay, but here you have. Okay, so it's up to you, my friends, you know. And you have to be obviously emotionally, but here we have emotionally the Queen of Cups. She's sitting here, and she's in reflection mode, and she's just, you know, harnessing her ibis energy, which really, I have to look that up now. I did in the past, but right now I kind of leaving what exactly, like, you know, the hawk is about the messenger of the gods, like crow medicine is about the magic of the art of knowing the darkness. You know, birds all have their own, all animals have their medicine wisdom. Okay, but so what I'm trying to add is Do not give up on anything you're doing, okay? And here we have the 8, power and success. Keep your emotions harnessed, okay? You see how this male figure is in, you know, like a prayer mode, on his hands and knees, saying, I'm thankful to the earth, because the Egyptians, honestly, everything about earth, okay? Earth, earth, earth. Definitely earth. They came to, like the Mayan, you know, even though the Mayan astronomers extraordinary, just, and the Egyptians mathematics, geometry, extraordinary, but yet earth was their go-to. Okay. And we got to pray, my friends. Okay. We got to pray. Oh, we got the seagulls come. Oh, goodness. I don't know how the seagulls found this out. How many years I've been feeding little birdies out here. And it was like last year they started coming. I'm like, how did that come in here? Okay, let's pick a Lady Isis card. Okay, we're at 35 minutes. That's good. Okay, let's see how Lady Isis wants to represent. Okay, hold on. I haven't used this deck in a while. I haven't done a reading with the Goddess Isis. So let's just see. But we did receive the beautiful Queen of Cups. You know, I might want to read from here if he what queen he may have selected. Okay, I'm just curious if he named the queen a certain goddess. Divine sisterhood, community of the spiritual sisters and brothers of the light. There you are. And see, I'm like giving a high five here. See, and this is the goddess. This is like the goddess of love. It's a cow goddess. It begins with an H. It might be Horus, but she's a cow goddess, and it's why they gave this goddess her wisdom of the love goddess, because you know how cows can have many babies and things, and they're good mamas, and the milking. I'm gonna pick one more because we need a pairing here, and we have the Mia, the divine sisterhood, community of the spiritual sisters and brothers of the light. Beautiful. Temple of Carnelian, entering the fierce belly of Sekhmet. There we have it. Okay. No, Horus was their son, so that's why Isis. This is the image of Lady Isis with her, the eye Horus. That's Sekhmet, goddess of Sekhmet. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. And here we have proper burial for freedom. Sacrifice to Osiris, Lord of the Dead. Okay, well, we're going to stand Osiris strong here. But I don't know if I want to go that far. Maybe we'll do another reading and highlight that card. But, okay, so now we understand there's some of you may be going through some mental anxieties, sorrow, but just know that the Queen of Cups is here, the Power Cup is here. So, you know, check your emotions, okay, no matter, but you know, sometimes it's real, you know, someone of your loved ones passes, especially when they pass unexpectedly, you know, in car crash, it just wipes us out. It really does. But we got to, you know, get back up, and you know, literally the death card is here, and you know how the Egyptians totally believe from, you know, death to rebirth. So do not get emotional if there's something serious like that. And here's the sun star, who renews us, who regenerates us. Without the sun, like I mentioned, none of us would be here. So we got to just, you know, keep it going. The sun is about that love and joy, that happiness. So let me see, what are we going to read first? No, I'm in the wrong book. Oh, here is she. Oh no, what did I do? Did I not bring her book out? Ay, ay, ay. Oh, here it is. Ooh, sorry. I'm like, I try to really get organized for these readings. I'm like, did I not bring out her book out? Okay, so Divine Sisterhood. All right, so let's see. I know that's a cow goddess right there. And so let's see what she says. The Divine Sisterhood. Okay, Divine Sisterhood. Okay. Here we go. Divine Sisterhood. All right. I'm not going to read all of this, just the prayer, the intro and the prayer. Okay. Divine Sisterhood. Okay, is it too dark? All right. Community of the spiritual sisters and brothers of the light. In community that is based in equality, respect, healthy boundaries, and personal freedom, with a mutual desire for spiritual growth and honoring of innate wisdom, great miracles occur. Okay, that's pretty powerful to open up with. In community that is based in equality, respect, healthy boundaries, and personal freedom, with a mutual desire for spiritual growth and honoring of innate wisdom, great miracles occur. And remember, we're trying to harness the energies of this 3/30/2019, the 333 code, which speaks of that love. Okay, speaks of beautiful love and light. It really does. It's an ascended masters. When you see 333, you know the ascended masters like Jesus, the Buddha, and many others. You are part of this community of light. At one time it existed only in the spiritual worlds, yet now it is being born on the earth. It is part of your destiny to help create and nurture a conscious community that empowers all of its members and is based in truth. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Here, I have to read something here. Mother Isis says that there is so much light awakening within our planet. Mother Isis says that there is so much light awakening with our planet and so much spiritual light gifted to Earth from celestial beings at this time that it makes sense to build a large enough container to receive it. Groups that are willing to learn to connect at heart level, you know, heart, our emotional sign, our emotional gift, or why we're alive here, honoring each other as divine beings, can become capable of calling in and receiving tremendous forces of light in service to humanity and the earth. And you know how I speak of the white light all around us and within us. Protects me both day and night. White light all around me and within me. I banish all bane. White light, bright light all around me and within me. Protects me both day and night. White light, bright light all around me and within me. I banish all profane bane. In the name of Jesus Christ, beloved Son of Father God, Mother Mary, and His life beloved, the Magdalene Mary. White light, bright light. And the prayer of the Divine Sisterhood. This prayer can be said at the end of the ritual, because this is the ritual of the Sister of Divine. But I'm not going to read all this for, you know, we don't want to go there. But just know this is an oracle about the Divine Feminine. And this is a cow. This is like, I know it begins with an H. I'm embarrassed to say that I can't recall it. Horus is the son of Isis and of Osiris, and he's with the, this is the eye of Horus that she has in her image right there, Lady Isis. But this, I'll try to look her up. Anyway, here's the prayer that can be said at the ritual, which is, you can do this, and you know what to do a ritual. You take your sea salt bath, you go for a walk, you know how you do it. You sit at your altar and you pray. And the prayer goes, Beloved Isis, please help me find my beloved brothers and sisters of unconditional love on the inner planes and in this world of forms. Guide me to healthy community that helps me grow with unconditional love, where I can find my rightful place and be my true inner self. Thank you! Exclamation mark. May I have the courage, wisdom, and openness of heart to trust your guidance and act on it. Of my own free will, so be it. Okay, so this is about bringing people together, whether male or female, to understand that we are followers of white light, bright light, and this is how we, you know, send the dark forces back to where they come from. And I've been talking about this video, you know, there's a spiritual warfare out there, no doubt about it, and it's about the souls of light against the souls of dark harm, the darkness. But we can keep that balance and send them all back to where they come from. We don't have to be stuck. We don't have to be in this sorrow that's come on this table. Okay? And the sun star is here to show us, you know, I'm here to wake you up in the morning. And, you know, sunrise and sunset. You know how much I love my sunrise and sunset photo moments. For any of you, follow me on Instagram. I put everything out there on Instagram. Okay, and so now we're going to do the final card. the temple of carnelian and Sekhmet, entering the fierce belly of Sekhmet. Okay, another, so Sekhmet is different than Bast, but this is one of the little, you know, all the Egyptians were badasses, that's for sure. I mean, you didn't really, you know, but that's why you had to kind of follow their codes, because, and again, they came from the stars, you know, they believed they came from the Orion belt, the 3 stars of Orion. So, and you can look that up if you want to, but, you know, very powerful, the Egyptians. They even, you know, so many shows I watch on Egyptology and all the readings I've done for myself. Like I said, this is my first tarot deck ever. You saw it 1994. So, first card pull. But let's continue. Entering the fierce belly of Sekhmet, you have such strength within you. It is time to trust in your own boldness and courage, taking risks that feel true to your heart. Look at that. We were just talking about come from your heart. You know, sometimes emotions can come, but sometimes we think too much, because the 3 of Sorrows is how we're thinking. Come from your heart, okay? Yeah, we got to think things out, no doubt, but you feel from your heart. When you speak about spiritual matters, you're not thinking. You're letting spirit force source flow through you, coming into you, and then you speak from your heart, el corazón, okay? This is how it works, all right? Just like when you fall in love. You don't think, oh, I think I'm going to fall in love with you. No, you got to feel it. Emotionally, the water sign, cups, you got to feel it. And that the Queen of Cups is here, you got to feel it. And then it's just like the same way you feel the sun rays on your body. Okay, so we have the feminine Queen of Cups and the male active sun. You got to feel it. Okay, so again, one more time. You have such strength within you. It is time to trust in your own boldness and courage, taking risks that feel true to your heart and engaging in practices that make you feel truly and genuinely alive, embodied, and more of yourself, even if not always comfortable, are going to help you live the life you were born to live, and there it is. So be true to your heart and be bold. And here we have the Sun Star. You know, it speaks of that Leo, the only zodiac sign ruled by the sun, and Leo, the majestic line. The Sekhmet is in my hand, okay? Please, you know, just keep on going. This oracle calls you to have the courage of your convictions, to have faith in yourself and your own process, to be fearless as you are assured of victory, exclamation mark. Sekhmet will not be defeated. And as spiritual warriors, you know, I talk about that a lot. When you start identifying with your spiritual soul self, you know, we are fierce and fearless as spiritual warriors. That's why we can send the dark harm away from us. We can send them back to where they come from. You know, we can't kill the devil and demons never die, but we can send them back. But you have to be fierce about who you're, you know, who you are, who's your true core. And your true core source force self begins with your birth date and geographically where you were born to. I believe in that combo, that pairing. Okay, and the incantation, and what time is it? 48. We're doing great. The incantation to the fire belly of Sekhmet. And here we go. We'll close with this. You can say this incantation to overcome any fear or doubt. Here we have it. We can, where's those 2 3s? There we go. The 3 and the 3. Okay? Okay, so if you have any fear, any doubt, we're going to set that at rest. Okay? This sorrow, 2 sorrow cards coming. And again, it's not about how we're thinking to bring that sorrow. We're going to go into our emotional core, our heart zone, and that's how we're going to feel it. It's just like, you know, when you become more spiritual aware, you're going to feel more than thinking. Really, you turn off the brain spiritually. That's why people like to, you know, close their eyes. Sometimes I close my, that's when you hear the messages, when you lie down and close your eyes and you try not to think. You just said, send me the messages, and you always have pen and paper handy, okay? So this incantation is now the belly of Sekhmet. You can say this incantation to overcome any fear or doubt you could possibly imagine and to get energy and fire into any issue. And we got the fire of fire right here in the Sun card, into any issue that seems stagnant or blocked. Only use the incantation when it really feels right. See, when it really feels right to do so in your heart, because it is powerful and it will have effect. And sometimes when our heart tells us patience is needed, we are better to wait and allow situations to unfold rather than throw the gauntlet down and ask powerful Sekhmet to step in and sort it all out! Exclamation mark. She isn't very subtle! Exclamation mark. Okay? So you see, if you're overthinking and you're going, oh, woe is me, or why did this happen, or you take that break, you lie down, you go to your spiritual soul searching place, okay, and turn technology off, and you go with it, and you want to feel what's coming through. Okay, set it here. Use this incantation only when it really feels right to do so in your heart, and that's how we feel our emotions, the cups, our heart, because it is powerful and it'll have much effect. Okay, and when your heart tells you to use patience, that patience is needed. We are better to wait and allow situations to unfold rather than throw the gauntlet down and ask powerful Sekhmet to step in and sort it all out! Exclamation mark. And remember, reminder, she isn't very subtle. No, because she's a lion energy. That's why. That is totally why. And remember, we have the death card here as well. Transformation, okay, in the respect of death, rebirth, and the death card is Scorpio's card that speaks about that transformation, okay? So it's pretty wild. And then this is here again, spiritual sisters and brotherhood, so we can align. We want to find people like us. We want to find like-minded. When we really do need the power of Sekhmet's action, our beloved lion sister priestess is here for us. Okay, beautiful. Oh, that makes sense now. See, she's got the sun over her head. Okay, and here we received the sun card. How fabulous! And again, I mentioned this is Akhenaten and Queen Nefertiti, very well recognized in Egyptian island. You know, again, their son was King Tutankhamun. Okay, so when we really do need the power of Sekhmet's action, our beloved lion sister priestess is here for us. Just do not expect to control the effects of her power, capital H, capital P power, exclamation mark. Always say the incantation as a whole, so you're calling on unconditional love to guide the process. And you see, the light of love. And that's what Akhenaten wanted to do, because the Egyptians had so many gods and goddesses, and everything was getting, like, he felt not in control. We must pray to one God, and this was Aten, okay? The sun god. Okay. Beloved Sekhmet, who loves me unconditionally, brave, bright as fire, bold as can be, bless this situation with your healing power. Do it now, this very hour. I offer you love and gratitude from my heart as you liberate me from this troubled dark. Sekhmet, who loves with passion and might, you assist me now with your eternal fire bright. Ooh, we got to put an amen to that, right? And you see, we're in this funk for some reason, okay? And again, this is Lucky 13, this death card. This speaks to me always about death to rebirth, you know? So don't think death like it's, somebody murdered you. It's more like that rebirth, which obviously the Egyptians totally believed in. That's why they took so much time to embalm all their people. And, you know, even, like I said, I read that somehow they found millions and millions of these cats in little mummy outfits there. Okay, one more time. We'll close with the incantation of the fire belly of Sekhmet. Sekhmet, who loves me unconditionally, brave, bright as fire, bold as can be, bless this situation with your healing power. Do it now, this very hour. I offer you love and gratitude from my heart as you liberate me from this troubled dark. Sekhmet, who loves with passion and might, you assist me now with your eternal fire bright. Okay, and we also did receive this 10 of swords, which Aleister Crowley wrote, ruin. But again, you know, I kind of am into numerology, and I think of those 10s as a transcendence. So if, you know, if you're let's say you have been going through some sorrow, But now it's time to get over it. Okay, over it. And you're not in ruins. The beautiful Sekhmet is here to bring us and assist us towards removing, you know, and healing us from, and giving her gratitude from your heart that, yes, I want to continue to grow. And yes, we all have our down times. And, you know, for those who've been following me, you know, I couldn't even be on YouTube. I became ill. And sometimes, you know, you hear those people talk, oh, stop talking about damn illness already. But it kind of changed my life, you know. You know, it really did. You know, physically, physiologically, you know, I've lost my hair, blah, blah, blah. That's why I really got to wear hats now. But I feel better than ever, and I'm coming back stronger, my loves. Okay, so just, I want to say love you all, and love yourselves first, not from ego, but from your heart zone. Align with the beautiful ones that you represent with, and do not give up on you. Okay, and again, here we have proper burial for freedom, sacrifice to Osiris, the Lord of the dead. So, you know, this is not, death is not final. We're reborn again. I love you all. Ciao.